The summer had been unusually hot, the kind of heat that made the air shimmer and the shadows under the trees feel like hiding places for something unseen. Our little town of Millfield was the kind of place where nothing ever happened until that summer. It all began when we found the Hollow House. We were 5 kids: Mia, the fearless leader; Jonah, the skeptic; Lily, the quiet one; Ben, the joker; and me, Sam. We spent most of our days exploring the woods behind the school, chasing fireflies and inventing stories to scare each other. One afternoon, while following a narrow deer trail deeper than we'd ever dared before, we stumbled upon a clearing. At its center stood a house unlike any we'd seen. Tall, ancient, and rotting, with windows like empty eye sockets staring at us. The paint peeled like dead skin, and the front door hung crooked on its hinges. No one in Millfield talked about the Hollow House. It was as if it didn't exist. But there it was, staring at us, daring us to come closer. Mia was the first to step forward. "Let's check it out," she said, eyes gleaming with excitement. Jonah shook his head. "We shouldn't. This place gives me the creeps." But curiosity won. We crossed the threshold, the floorboards groaning beneath our feet like the house was warning us to leave. The air inside was thick and stale, smelling of mold and decay. Dust motes floated in the fading sunlight that filtered through grimy windows. The wallpaper peeled in long strips, revealing dark stains beneath. Somewhere deep inside, a clock ticked unevenly, its sound echoing like a heartbeat. We explored cautiously, stepping over broken furniture and shattered glass. In the living room, an old portrait hung crooked on the wall, a family of 4 smiling stiffly, their eyes unnervingly dark. Ben joked, maybe they're ghosts who didn't get the memo to smile. But none of us laughed. That night, none of us could sleep. Strange noises echoed outside our windows, whispers carried on the wind, faint but unmistakable. I heard my name, soft and drawn out, like a breath just behind me. Lily sat on her bed, eyes wide and pale. "I think the house is calling us," Ben scoffed, but even he looked shaken. The next day we met at the edge of the woods, each of us shaken but unwilling to admit fear. "I heard it too," Lily said quietly. "The whispering." Ben laughed nervously. Probably just the wind. But none of us believed it. We decided to return to the Hollow House, determined to find out what was making those sounds. The house was worse than we remembered. The air inside was colder than outside, unnaturally so. Shadows clung to the corners, shifting when we looked away. In the living room, we found a dusty old mirror, its surface cracked and tarnished. When Mia looked into it, her reflection flickered, her eyes darkened, and for a moment, her smile twisted into something cruel. "Did you see that?" she whispered, stepping back. Jonah scoffed. "It's just a broken mirror." But then the whispers started again, louder this time, filling the room with unintelligible murmurs that made our skin crawl. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind us. We were trapped. Panic set in. We tried the door, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers grew into voices, urgent, angry, pleading, "Help us! Join us!" The shadows in the room began to move independently, stretching and twisting into shapes that resembled children, pale, hollow-eyed, and silent. Lily screamed as one shadow reached toward her. It passed through her like smoke, and she collapsed, eyes rolling back. We scrambled to her side, but she was gone. Only a faint coldness remained where she had fallen. Mia grabbed my hand. "We have to get out." But the house wasn't done with us. We searched frantically for another exit when Jonah tripped over a loose floorboard. Beneath it was a narrow trapdoor. With trembling hands, Mia opened it, revealing a steep staircase descending into darkness. "No way," Jonah said, but the door behind us creaked open. We had no choice. The stairs led to a cellar filled with old toys. Broken dolls, rusted tricycles, and faded photographs of children with hollow eyes. On the far wall was a circle of strange symbols, drawn in what looked like dried blood. The whispers were louder here, almost deafening. Ben picked up a doll, and suddenly the room plunged into darkness. When the lights flickered back on, Ben was gone. We called for him, but only silence answered. The shadows danced closer, their mouths opening in silent screams. Mia found a journal among the toys. Its pages were filled with frantic writing, a mother's desperate account of children lost to something ancient and hungry. They were taken by the Hollow, Mia read aloud, a curse that traps souls in the house, feeding on their fear. We realized then that the Hollow House was alive, a prison for the lost children, and now it wanted us. We had to escape. But every door led to another room. Every window showed only darkness. The house warped around us, twisting the corridors, trapping us deeper inside. Jonah's voice was barely a whisper. We need to stick together. We held hands, trying to ignore the cold fingers brushing our skin, the whispers promising safety if we just gave in. Lily's eyes fluttered open briefly, but she was different, her voice hollow and distant. "Don't listen," she warned. "It's lying." We pushed forward, following the faintest glimmer of light. At the heart of the house, we found a room unlike the rest, walls covered in mirrors reflecting endless versions of ourselves. The whispers crescendoed into screams. From the shadows, a figure emerged, a tall, gaunt woman with eyes black as voids. She smiled, revealing sharp teeth. "The Hollow feeds on fear," she hissed, "and you have plenty." Mia stepped forward, trembling but defiant. "We're not afraid," she said. The woman laughed, a sound like shattering glass. But then the mirrors shattered and the shadows recoiled. The house trembled and the doors flew open. We ran without looking back, bursting into the sunlight as the Hollow House faded behind us like a bad dream. Lily was gone, swallowed by the darkness. The rest of us never spoke of that summer again. But sometimes, when the wind is just right, I hear the whispers, soft, beckoning, and I know the Hollow House is still waiting for the next children to wander too far into the woods. We had always been told to stay away from the deep woods. Old Man Harris, the town historian, once warned us about the things that live where the light doesn't reach. We laughed it off. Kids do. But that day when we found the Hollow House, something changed. The clearing was eerily silent. No birds sang, no insects buzzed. Even the breeze seemed to hold its breath. The house looked like it had been abandoned for decades, but the ground around it was strangely clear of leaves and debris, as if someone or something kept it tidy. Jonah hesitated at the edge of the clearing. Maybe we should just turn back. Mia's eyes sparkled with defiance. "Where's your sense of adventure?" We stepped closer. The door creaked open as if inviting us in. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The whispers came again, soft and urgent. They weren't words exactly, more like fragments, snatches of sentences, names, warnings. I heard footsteps on the porch. I sat up, heart pounding, but when I looked out the window, there was nothing but the swaying branches. Lily's voice came through my phone, trembling. "Do you hear it too?" We all did, and none of us wanted to admit what it meant. The house's temperature dropped as we moved deeper inside. Our breaths became visible, misting in the cold air. The shadows seemed to pulse, growing thicker, darker. The mirror in the living room was the worst. Mia's reflection didn't mimic her movements perfectly. For a second, it smiled when she didn't. Its eyes were black pits, endless and hungry. The whispers turned into voices, pleading and threatening all at once. Suddenly, the door slammed shut, and the house seemed to exhale, an ancient, hungry breath. The trapdoor's hinges groaned as Mia lifted it. The staircase spiraled down into a darkness so complete it swallowed the flashlight's beam whole. The cellar was a graveyard of forgotten childhoods. Dolls missing eyes, toys broken beyond recognition, photographs with faces scratched out. The symbols on the wall twisted and writhed as if alive. The whispers became a roar. When the lights went out, we knew something had taken Ben. We called for Ben, but only silence answered. The shadows grew bolder, reaching for us with fingers like smoke. Our skin crawled as they brushed past, cold as death. Mia's journal revealed the truth. The hollow was a curse, a living entity that fed on fear and trapped souls in its grasp. We were next. The house was a maze, corridors folding back on themselves, windows showing endless black voids. Every turn led us deeper into the nightmare. Lily's brief return was a cruel trick. Her eyes were empty, her voice a hollow echo. "Don't listen," she warned before fading again. We clung to each other, hearts pounding, fighting the whispers that promised peace if we gave in. The mirror room was a prison of reflections. Each mirror showed a different version of ourselves, some terrified, some twisted by fear. The woman who emerged was the hollow's face, beautiful and terrible, a predator cloaked in human skin. Her voice shattered the silence. "You feed me, you belong to me." Mia's courage was our last hope. "We're not afraid," she said, her voice trembling but strong. The mirrors shattered and the house screamed. We burst through the front door into the blinding sunlight. The hollow house faded behind us, a nightmare dissolving at dawn. Lily was gone. The house had claimed her. We never spoke of that summer again, but the whispers haunt me still. Sometimes when the wind carries just the right sound, I hear them, soft, beckoning. The hollow house waits, and one day it will call again. If you want, I can prepare a narrated script version or add atmospheric sound suggestions for your video. This version is crafted to grip the audience from the first moment and maintain a chilling tension until the very end.